said to God, A, I don't think you're real, but if I'm wrong and you have a plan for my life, prove it. Don't ever ask God, the creator of the universe, to prove to you that he's real unless you are ready for an encounter of the first kind. 2 weeks come and go. I didn't even remember praying that prayer. There was zero faith attached to my prayer. And I was in my office. I'd been at lunch. I walked in, said hello to Sharon, our receptionist, went through a set of doors, walked down a hall, turned right, walked into my office, shut my door. And as I was dialing a phone, checking on a shopping center we were building in Beckley, West Virginia, off behind me to my left, I heard two words. And when I heard them, instantaneously, I was transported back 14 years to when I was 7 years old, when I had asked Jesus to be Lord of my life. I audibly heard the voice of God, and the two words he spoke to me were, call mom. I didn't hesitate. I had a second line. I dialed 344-7443. The phone rang 6 times, 7 times. On the 8th ring, my mother answered the telephone, and when she said hello, instantly I knew something was terribly wrong. For in that instant in time, when I hear God say to me, call mom, and I did so, my mother was, watch this, attempting suicide. She was dying. Whether she's your best friend or your worst enemy, somebody you see 3 times a day or 3 times a year, when you're here and 25 minutes away on the other end of the telephone line, the lady who gave birth to you is literally dying. That, my friend, will change your life. It becomes, again, defining moment. What do you do when you don't know what to do? For me, I ran out of my office, ran past Sharon, jumped into my car, drove up Interstate 75 in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I drove up this interstate and I talked to this God I did not know. And I didn't talk to him in any kind of like King James language. It was like, God, help. I can't save my mom, but you can. For the first time since I'd been 15 years old, I was being honest. I rounded the corner in their neighborhood, looked at their home from the outside in. Everything looked fine. It was safe, secure, maybe like where you live today. But from the inside out, my mom was dying. And from the outside in, they appear to have it all together. But from the inside out, I wonder what's really going on. Do you really get the truth that your choices do create your circumstances? I beat on the door that day. My mom was barely alive as she came down some stairs. She fell into my arms. I picked her up. I carried her to her car. I drove her to Park Ridge Hospital in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And as we drove, she looked over at me. She says, Dean, I can't be dying. And I said, Mom, hang on. You're not going to die, but you're going to have to choose to live. The most important word in that sentence is not live, my friend. It is choose, because you and I are given the choice every day to make the choices that create our circumstances.
One of my experiences with probably one of my first ones that actually stands out to me, was when I was 16 years old. I tried to take my life, and I literally still have this scar to prove it. But I remember just begging God for relief, and it just so happened that my aunt started knocking on the door while I was in the middle of it, and she saved my life. That was the first time, but I've had many experiences. But I'm going to find more stories like these and share them, so that if you're questioning your faith, maybe one of these stories will help you.